Hey guys, it's Monica at Academic Phoenix Plus, and welcome to the final video for Jinx's grenade, which is going to be to do a slight animation and a turntable plus some rendering and a little bit of animating texture. So it's going to be a jam-packed tutorial about finalizing this piece so that we can put it in our portfolio, which is the goal of my channel, is to try to get you guys the skills to build a portfolio so that you guys can apply to the industry. If you are new to this channel, I post 3D tutorials on a weekly basis. Software that I use include Maya, Substance Painter, and ZBrush. If that is your sort of thing, please consider subscribing. So bring out your creativity, open up your software, and let's go ahead and get started and actually completing Jinx's grenade. All right, so first I'm going to do the turntable. So the biggest thing is you want to select your object and click on the letter F so we know that it's focused in the center. Another thing you want to make sure to do is to turn on your resolution gate to make sure that this actually is how it's going to render. I want to make sure I see the character a little bit more straight on, or the object straight on, and also zoom in. Once I have that, something like that, I am going to go to animation. So over here at the top, go to the pull down menu, go to animation. Let's go to visualize. Let's go to create turntable and go to the options. Right now it is 90 frames. I'm going to choose 120 frames and then click apply. So what that does is that A, changes your perspective view to the turntable view, and B, it creates a group with a camera in it. So when I go in here, you're going to notice that it gives me a nice little turntable. Now the issue, when I hit place, you're going to see that it accelerates and then decelerates. And I'm not a big fan of that. I want that to be 360 because if I want to, repeat this loop, then I don't want it to accelerate, decelerate, and all that stuff. It looks weird. So let's go up here to the top. We're going to go to Windows, Animation Editor, Graph Editor. I'm going to select these two keyframes and then open this up a little bit and hit this. There we go. This is going to make the animation graph straight. So now when I hit play, you're going to see that it's a nice even rotation, which is exactly what I want. All right, let's hit save. The next thing I want to do is do a little animation. In the movie, the jaw goes, but you can see that I'm kind of limited to the space. So I'm probably going to start here and then kind of do its thing. So this does help if you have frozen your transformation. So make sure you select that and freeze your transformations. And I'm just going to do a very simple animation. So I'm going to hit S on my keyboard. I'm going to move forward. And actually, let me get out of the turntable because it's a little distracting. And then I'm going to lift this up to make it look like it's a jaw. Yep. Then I'm going to bring this back down as far as I can go without penetrating the geo. So something around there. And then instead of trying to figure out the perfect spot, which I guess it's not hard, I could just type in the 0. That's the nice thing about freezing your transformations. Hit S. All right, let's see what we get. Pretty slow. Oops, I did not mean to click that. All right, let's bring these together. So I'm going to hold down Shift, click, and drag. And if I grab this little triangle, I can actually bring them closer together. And then right-click on the timeline and click on Snap. That's going to snap them to a keyframe. And let's see if that looks better. It's all right. Let's see what it looks like in a loop. So instead of me duplicating every single keyframe, what I can do is go to using, again, the animation editor. So let's go to Windows, Animation Editor, Graph Editor. I'm going to select this. And I'm going to choose Post-Infinity Cycle. So what that means is that it's going to take these keyframes and just basically cycle. Now this could be a little smoother for sure, but it's getting the idea. All right, let's take a look at the animation editor again. And we can click some of these buttons. I'm not an animator, so this is just kind of like a basic thing, but I'm trying to get it to look a little bit more robotic, and that actually looks a lot better. So it's up to you if you want to accelerate it or decelerate it. I want to make sure it looks okay in the turntable. After all, we're going to have two things moving. We're going to have the model moving. We're going to have the object moving, the jaw moving. So I just want to make sure it actually reads okay. I kind of wish this was going a little higher, the jaw, so the animation can just a little bit more dramatic. Hit S. And let's see what that looks like. All right, I think that works. There's probably going to be a jar at 120, but I'm just going to have to live with. Actually, the transition was pretty good. completely accidental. Okay, next I want to work is on this eyeball, and I want it to glow. So let's go to the Jinx shader, and we have all of the shaders connected to it, which is great. But the reality is that this is just a piece of geometry with a solid shader. I don't need to animate the whole shader. So instead, I'm just going to go ahead and select these two objects and assign a new material. There we go. Choose Arnold AI Standard Surface. And this is going to be my glow eyes shader. I'm going to make this into the crazy green that Jinx likes. I'm going to turn off my specularity, scroll down, go to emission, and turn this on by using the same green. And theoretically, we're not really going to see too much of a difference. So this is what I had, not that one, before. I take a snapshot of this, and then this is what it looks like now. So barely to no difference. The great thing about this is that I can use this to animate the weight of emission. So what that means is that if I turn this emission to 0, it will look really flat. Maybe I don't want to go that far. Maybe I want to go just slightly glowing, like maybe around 0.3, and then it glows all the way to 1. So this is going to require a little bit of animation. So let's go ahead and do 0.2. Or actually, let's crank it up to 1. Start in frame 1. I'm going to right click, set key, and then move whatever value you want, and then change this to, let's say, 0.2. Right click, set key, move this forward to 20, crank this back to 1, set key. So the effect, and I'm going to see if my computer is going to be able to handle this. And I'm going to make a selection on just this part right here. And kind of scale this so I can scrub. I'm going to hit play. The effect is that as the animation gets closer to frame 10, it gets darker. And then it goes back to brighter as it gets to 20. So it's a subtle change, but I think it's going to give us the idea that it's flashing. We take a look at this. This is our animation. So this is where you can change it. So for example, if you wanted to change the value to 0.3 or something, that could work just as well. So to continue the animation, what we could do is continue what we just did. So by the time we get to 30, it goes back to 0 and so on and so forth. So I'm going to show you another way that might be a little bit easier. So I'm going to right click on the word weight and break the connection. And what I'm going to do instead is an equation. So what we can do is do a random expression. So we're going to click on equal and then type in rand, which stands for random, and then we can say 0 to 1. Now I have a video tutorial about explaining all of this, so I'll put a link below about flickering candles, but we're kind of doing the same exact idea. So the idea is that as the animation moves, the eyes are going to flicker. So it's not going to be on and off like the one that we were showing earlier. It's actually going to randomly choose values between 0 and 1, which is going to give it this really interesting like vibrating effect. And I like it. All right, so that's one way of making Jinx's grenade eyes flashing. All right, let's talk about lighting, because I'm not a big fan of the render right now. So right now it looks like this, which is fine, but it uses the physical sky, right? So the physical sky is a dome with a gradient color, and I really want to make this look better. So I'm going to be using a website called HDRI Haven, and it's actually changed its name. It is now known as Polyhaven, and it does have HDRI still, which is of course my favorite. So we can look at all the HDRIs to see which one you like the most, and they have a ton. And again, I just cannot believe that this is free. Thank you. It's up to you which HDRI you want to use, but I think I'm going to go for something a little bit more in the evening side so that it looks interesting. But I'll download a couple of them and show you the results. All right, let me go ahead and I'm going to hide this. Control H. I am going to delete my sky dome, and I'm going to go to Arnold Lights, Sky Dome. So the other one was a physical sky. This is the sky dome. I'm going to go to color, click on that, go to file, go to the folder, and because I set my project, it will take me to my source images, as you can see here, and I'm going to go to HDRI, and I have a variety of choices. I'm going to grab this one, which is a Starry Night. Make sure this is raw, and let's see what we get. All right, it's a little too gold for me, so let's grab another one. Let's grab Highway Moon. And I actually like that one a lot. But let's see what the other ones look like. Let's grab Shanghai. And I know it's a little pixelated, but I can still get the idea. Let's render that. So that one's kind of fun too. Choices. And then, did I take a snapshot? Let me take a snapshot of that one. And those two are actually working pretty well. There's a studio, I mean, I have a few, but those are the two that I actually really like. So the question is, which one do I want? I like this one more just because my glow looks a little bit stronger, so I'm going to stick with that one. So let me grab highway. Let me confirm. Okay, great. All right, let's go back here and scroll down to the light and change the camera to 0. Let's also make sure we're in the turntable. And I just want to take some quick images, just quick renders to make sure that everything looks okay. That looks okay. Let me keep moving forward. That looks okay. And I think I'm good to go. All right, so let's set this up for render. In my render settings up here, it looks like a little clapper with a little gear next to it. Click on that. Again, this is the area where it's going to place it, which is in my Arcane folder images. I'm going to create a folder called Jinx render. And then this is going to be my Jinx grenade. I'm going to choose a TIFF. Or you can choose a PNG under name, number, extension. Make sure you choose that. I'm going to reduce this to 3 because I only have 120 frames, which I'm going to put here. If I'm going too fast for you guys, make sure to take a look at my other video where I go through this thoroughly. I'm just trying to make this go quickly because I assume you guys already know this. But if you don't worry, I've got a video on it. So let's get rid of perspective. I'm going to change mine to 720. Now, if this was for my portfolio, like the one that I was going to apply to jobs to, I would definitely take the time to render an HD 1080, but 720 is going to be good for this particular exercise. I'm going to crank up my value to 5, my diffuse to 4. I'm going to change my specular. I don't really have transmission. I don't have any volume. I don't have any subsurface, so there's no reason for that to be turned on. And I'm going to turn on adaptive sampling to like a 10. And I think I am good to go. Make sure you save. And when you're ready, you're going to go to rendering, render sequence. I would go to the options to make sure you're in the right camera and then click on render and close. Now that's going to slow down my computer like crazy. So I am going to go ahead and stop this recording for now. It's going to take probably a little bit for this to render. So for you, it will only be a fraction of a second, but for me, it's probably going to be maybe 30, 40 minutes or more. I have no idea. But I will be right back with a fully rendered images, and then I'm going to show you how to bring it into Premiere to create a movie. So I will be right back. And there we have it. It is done. 120 frames. Let's take a look at it. Here it is. These are all the renders. Hopefully all of them are in good position. Oh, there you go. It's flashing. It's looking pretty good. I'm just hitting my right arrow on my keyboard. All right, let's go ahead and make this into a movie. So here's Premiere, and I'm going to go to File, New Project, and this is going to be Jinx Grenade. Find a place where you would like to find it. I personally like to place it in my 3D projects under the project name, and as well as there's a section called Movies, and that's a perfect place to put it. So I'm going to select there, and then click OK. All right, cool. There it is. Let's go ahead and bring it in. We're going to go to File, Import. And this was with the occlusion. But I really want is the render. I'm going to select one. It automatically reads it as an image sequence and click Open. This will be right here. We can drag it into the scene. And just like that, we have a animation. Press spacebar to see the work. And it actually works really well. Cool. Now, if you want to, you can copy, Control-C, Control-V. And we can watch it loop several times. We have once here. The little lights are flashing. And it looks pretty cool. I also have some really cool effects that kind of look like smoke. So I'm going to add it in there just to add that extra element into this video. Drag it in. I'm going to crop it and move it. Grab the smoke. We could try different types of blending modes so that we can see it. Multiply, color, screen. Screen might be better. And then I can reduce the opacity. And we can always copy it again, paste it. Paste it, and we can always overlap it as well. Let's do a cross dissolve on this one as well so it's not so jarring. Let's see the whole thing. Let's rewind, hit play. And there you go. Just a little fun element to add in there. All right, let's make this into a movie. Let's go to File, Export, Media. We're going to click on Q. That's going to open up Media Encoder. High quality is a good idea, and let's place it somewhere that we can find it. So again, I'm a big fan of just putting it in the project itself. There's a movies folder, and here's my Jinx grenade. I don't need all this other stuff. Click save and hit play. And there you go. Click on this little link. It will open up a folder, and here we go. Jinx's grenade. All right, that is the whole series on modeling, UV mapping, texturing, animating, and rendering Jinx's grenade. So it's a whole series, lots of fun. I really enjoyed the process. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it too. If you guys want to see more of this type of stuff, please like, subscribe, and of course leave a comment. That's your message to me, letting me know that you like these types of tutorials and you want to see more. Don't forget to take a look at academicphoenixplus.com. There you can find free downloads, free ebooks, free trainings, and so much more. And you will also find my e-courses. These e-courses are deep dive into Maya, so instead of really simple tutorials, you really get inside how Maya works. You get to learn how to model, UV map, texture, and everything. So it's a jam-packed e-courses, so take a look at them at academicphoenixplus.com. So hopefully you liked it. Thank you again for watching. I really appreciate it. Keep creating, and I will see you next time.